Let's talk about R combinations. Before that, what's the difference between combination and permutation? Think about it. So combination is just selecting the objects, whereas permutation is taking the objects followed by ordering them. That's the difference between these two. I'll tell you with example. If you have some set of elements O1, O2, O3, O4, and I discussed two things. One is two combination, second one two permutation. Example of two combination is O1 comma O2, and example of two permutation is selecting two objects and arranging them in the line. That's why we write ordered form. Okay. Second one O2 comma O1, right? So for these two elements, these are the two combinations. Similarly, by changing the combination, you can have different permutations, right? Again O1 O3 O3 O1. What I want to say is permutations are generally larger than combinations. Now already we have seen the formula for permutations is NPR, okay, where you have n objects initially and you want to arrange r objects in the line which are taken from n. Then how many such r permutations possible is NPR. When it comes to combinations, then what is the answer? How many R combinations possible is the question. So now we'll see the complete question. You have a different objects. Objects cannot be repeated. Then how many R combinations possible? There is a close connection between combinations and permutations. If you understand that, then you can derive formula for combinations, because already you know the formula for permutations. So I show you that connection. What is that connection is, when you have n objects, any R permutation is nothing but taking first R objects, after that arranging them in the line, correct or not? There is a selection in it, correct? So there is a selection involved in it, if you observe it. So if I use that concept now, example, if I have n objects, then I can form all possible permutations by this method. That is, take a combination number 1, which is a R combination, okay, so it's a R combination, and permute it in all possible ways. That means arrange that R objects in the line. We know that if you have two objects O1 O2, then so many ways we can arrange them. We'll see the formula for it later on. Similarly, come back here, if you have n objects, then this is combination number 1. There may be another combination C2 that also contains R objects. Okay. Now how many ways you can arrange them? Let's say they are all this C2. Now we can have combination 3, let's say, that is also can be arranged in so many ways. Finally, all possible permutations can be generated by taking all combinations, each and every one, and arranging them in the line, because every permutation is first of all combination which is arranged. So that's why what I am taking is directly I am taking all combinations and arranging them. We know that this entire process gives you NPR permutations, because there are only NPR permutations. Go to template number 1 and understand it. Now we don't know how many R combinations we have. Let's say we have X such R combinations, but every such R combination has these many permutations. How many are they? We have to find out. They are exactly, so it's like arranging R objects in the line which are taken from R. If you arrange R objects in the line which are taken from R objects, then the total number of such permutations are RPR, like NPR. NPR is for taking R objects from N objects and arranging them, and RPR is nothing but taking R objects from R objects and arranging them in the line, RPR. Similarly, for second such combination also we have RPR permutations. For third combination also there are RPR permutations. Now total permutations are nothing but taking every combination and permuting it. If there are X combinations which is unknown, I don't know how many combinations I have. If I have X combinations, then every combination is generating RPR permutations. Then X into RPR should be total number of permutations. But total number of permutations are NPR. So here NPR is known, RPR is known, X is unknown. We have to find out X value. Then X equal to NPR by RPR. Let's focus on RPR. What is RPR? So RPR is nothing but, let's expand it. RPR equal to R factorial by R minus R factorial, which is nothing but R factorial by R minus R factorial is 0 factorial. Then it is R factorial. So RPR is simplified to R factorial. Then if you expand this formula, it will become NPR by R factorial. So NPR is nothing but N factorial by n factorial by n minus R factorial into R factorial. Then NPR by R factorial will become n factorial by n minus R factorial into R factorial. So finally, the unknown value is number of R combinations. That number of R combinations are n factorial by n minus R factorial into R factorial. So we started with NPR first and we calculated number of combinations, correct? So since you know permutations and we calculated combinations, in that way we can find out the total number of combinations. We use this formula so many times later on, okay? From now onwards, you remember, if you have n objects and you want to select R objects, that is nothing but a R combination, then how many such R combinations possible? Equal to NCR. Now we will see problems related to template number 3. So question is like this. You have some 10 members and how many 5-member committees can be formed from these 10 members, where each committee must include Raju as member. So Raju is compulsory in each committee. Example, these are all total members. Let me show them pictorially. 1, 2, 3, let's say a lot of people. 10, right? Out of them, Raju is a main character and Raju is compulsory. What I do is, I form a committee like this. Let's say each committee is a bag. In that bag, Raju should be included, correct? So that's why, let me take Raju first. Let's say he is Raju. Then take other 4 people, because I need a 5-member committee. Already you have taken Raju, then 4 more people you want, isn't it so? Now, which 4 people? Again you can't take Raju because we can't repeat Raju. Then effectively there are only 9 people to be considered, right? Out of 9, we have to take some 4 random, any 4 other people, right? 4 people. So how you do that? So it's a selection problem, because you are taking 4 people from 9 and you are not ordering them. So order doesn't matter in a committee, correct? So that's why the problem is reduced to, finally, after taking Raju, how differently you can take 4 people out of 9. So it's a selection problem. We have a formula for that, 9C4, correct or not? So this is a simple solution for this problem. Okay. Now we'll see the next question. How many ways a 5-member committee can be formed with 3 teachers, 2 students taken from 10 teachers and 15 students? So we have finally 10 teachers and 15 students. We have to form again a 5-member committee, correct? But we have to take exactly 3 teachers and 2 students. So I can divide the task into 2 parts. Selection of teachers separately and selection of students separately. Let's do this part first. How many different ways you can select 3 teachers out of 10 teachers? It's a selection problem, then 10C3 ways. Similarly, how many ways I can select students? It is 15C2, because the total number of students are 15. Now, any 5-member committee with 3 teachers and 2 students can be done by selecting any random 3 teachers followed by random 2 students, correct? So this is a task sequence behind it. That is, forming a committee is nothing but can be done by selecting teachers followed by selecting the students. Whenever I do these 2 tasks, I always end with a committee. So this is the task sequence for forming a committee. Then I can apply product rule. So according to product rule, the total number of ways of forming committee is equal to total number of ways of selecting teachers into total number of ways of selecting students. So that is nothing but 10C3 into 15C2. Since selection of teachers is not influencing selecting the students, I can say that selection of teachers and selection of students are independent. That's why we can apply product rule.